And welcome back to the hot stage. We are talking the fallout of WRC Rally Japan, in particular the absolute disaster that was the Hyundai team. What a horrible rally. I cannot remember one for years, a rally that they had that bad. In particular, is it just bad luck for Thierry Neuville, or is it just bad? I mean, mechanical problems, wipers. And before we get into the wipers, I would like to let you know that on this day in rallying, all the way back in, the 11th of November, it always was going to be. But in 2012, the curtain closed on what was another epic World Rally Championship season at Rally Catalunya. And one legend, Sebastian Loeb, well, he was already a legend at that point, wasn't he? He pushed his Citroën DS3 to the absolute limit, holding off the now Toyota boss, Jari-Matti Latvala, just by 7 seconds. It was Loeb's final win of the year, a fitting finale to what was an era of dominance. Meanwhile, across the globe, this day also marks the birth of a certain Ponciano Lawakata, born on the 11th of November 1973. I probably got that wrong, but he's from Uganda, a driver, a crowd favourite, known for his passion, power and spectacular style. From the tarmac of Spain to the dirt of Africa. November the 11th celebrates rallying greatness in every corner of the world. But there we go. So moving on from that, this was Seb Oj on one of the many times he had to retire his Hyundai.
Any technical issue. Fresh diff this afternoon, but also new dampers.
Awkward. I mean,
tried. So first stage was not very good. After we were able to adjust, we went in the right direction.
Yep.
But still not enough, and there's much more work left.
I mean, he's talking about the frustration. He just cannot get that Hyundai right. And that's something we've been saying most of the year. The setup of getting that Hyundai sorted seems to be a massive issue. And I completely understand. It must be so frustrating for the drivers.
Find something better tomorrow, so we're going to do some more changes. We have a list of things we want to test anyhow tomorrow. There's no midday service, so we have to do the changes overnight to be able to test those tomorrow.
I mean, when you look at him in the interview, he pretty much looks as absolutely distraught. And here he is again, giving us an update on what's going on with his Hyundai.
But just now that you're back at service, can you give us any more of an idea of how this happened, where this happened, and why it happened?
Not really. Obviously, it happened on the road section, that's for sure. Before the start of the stage, transmission failure. Similar to shakedown. So we have to investigate. The guy is back. The guy is gonna start soon, and maybe we're gonna quickly know what's the real issue. Unfortunately, it's very disappointing.
I mean, again, he just looks so destroyed. And I can understand. Let's be honest, he's had an absolute disaster of a season in terms of defending his title. And it'll be interesting to see if we can go back and look at the stats at some point after the year. How many people had a worse title defence than Thierry Neuville? It's going to be interesting. I imagine not many. But yeah, that's something we're going to be seeing. But then this happened as well on the Sunday. Neuville's windscreen wipers failed due to an electrical issue. Yeah, windscreen wipers. I mean, that's one of the... Do you really expect them to fail on a rally car? So he's out of Rally Japan's final day before even turning a wheel. Embarrassment. Poor Jonathan Wheatley. But this was one of my tweets of the day. Tick pick. Name a sports moment that's absolutely broken you or broke you. Adrian Fourmaux, Japan 2025. Broke my door. Does that count? And here it is. Breaking the door. Breaking the door again. Look. The way it just comes off.
We lost the door.
We lost the door. Yeah, you absolutely did.
We lost the door. Here we go.
What happened? Again. The way the door just comes off.
We lost the door.
Could be one of my... I mean, thank goodness.
We lost.
Thank goodness they're okay, is all I can say. It's absolutely brilliant. However, what is interesting and what's come out about particularly Neuville's disastrous Japan rally is This is from Dirtfish. It would appear that there is some correlation between the two. And we're talking about his crash at Central European Rally when he essentially long darted it into the side of a bridge. Yeah, we've got that. We've got that footage in a second. But this was
So
this was
the oil
the
and the
aftermath.
engine.
I mean, look at that. It just looks absolutely destroyed. And here it is. Look at that. Oh, it's just shocking, isn't it? And I've got another angle of it here. Here we go. Here's the 5-second video. Hear the bang. It's so bad. But it was this crash here that they're saying affected his his crash at the Central European Rally here that affected Neuville's overall performance in Japan with all those technical issues. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't fix the car. But here we go. CER crash may have led to the Japan problems, and it was that hefty shunt. There was a multitude of failures, as we all know, in Japan, and last year's world champion hit the edge of a bridge. It was protected by a head belt. It was pretty much head on. An impact that registered 16G in a rally car. He and his co-driver were taken to hospital because I imagine when you hit something and it goes over, it's a certain magnitude of crash, let's say. It sets off, I believe, off the alert, and then I think by default, and quite rightly so, you've got to go to hospital. Competing with the new chassis in Japan, Neuville endured a dismal weekend, suffering a transmission problem on Thursday's shakedown, a rear differential issue on Friday morning, a gearbox casing failure on Saturday that prompted an oil leak, and then electrical gremlins that stopped his wipers working. Yeah, and he needed that. When the rain comes down, you're going into a frost, pretty important. He retired from the event on both Saturday and Sunday, flew home with 0 points, 0 points, for the second event running. Hyundai investigating the cause, and the team's WRC sporting director Andrew Wheatley, he suspects, and he's talking about there is potentially a correlation between the incident which we've seen in CER here. Let's just see it again. Bonk. Yeah, that incident there. And his problems in Japan. He said, I can't tell you a lot, he told Dirtfish, but what we understand at the moment is that the gearbox casing, and I don't know how much of the gearbox was part of the accident that took place in Central European Rally. We don't know because we haven't fully assessed it, he says. But it would appear that there is some correlation between the two, so we need to fully understand the situation. He says it's not a failure that's been traditional, it's something different. And the reality was, the big issue was that they lost oil because the shaft went back in, but we can't do 100 kilometres without the oil, and that's what they were losing. Wheatley explained that while Neuville was driving a new chassis, all of the components and parts were undamaged and were added to a brand new shell. But he said there were linked events. So when they're linked events, there's certain things you can and can't replace, meaning transmissions and differentials were sealed for all competitors from pre-event scrutineering at Central European Rally until the final Parc Fermé in Japan. Now, breaking the FA mandated seal or replacing the transmission would have led to an automatic 5-minute penalty. Basically, after the Central European Rally, they took the car back, he said. The boss did, on Monday, and they took everything out of the car and put it into a new shell, he said. So basically, they just switched everything over to a rolling shot and pushed it out the door and put it on the plane. In the ideal world, when you got link running, because that's very easy, they've gone and out of the problem. If it's not, it requires further investigation. But yeah, it seems like they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. A 5-minute penalty or just chancing it. Completely understand. So, deep breath. If you made it to the end though, well, first of all, absolute congratulations to yourself. And if you do want to subscribe, that'll be amazing. If you're not subscribed, we've just started this rally channel a couple of months ago. We've got a few subscribers. Thank you so much to every one of you. I get an alert, whether I'm at work, at home, on the toilet. Sorry about that image, but it gives me a smile. Every subscriber does, every like, every comment. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Take the journey with us at the heart stage. We love rallying, and so do you, I'd imagine. We'll speak to you soon, and stay safe.